Hi, I'm Tupelo Kenyon, and today we're going to explore the idea of your passion as your compass. Have you ever been passionate about something in your life? When you place your attention there, how does it feel? Have you ever kept yourself at arm's length away from your passions for whatever reason? How did that feel? This simple exercise does a great job in illustrating the power of passion in our lives. What are you passionate about? The word passion has several definitions. Let's focus on ardent love, boundless enthusiasm, and irrational but irresistible motive for a belief or action. This next definition is right on target for this discussion. A strong liking or enthusiasm for a subject or activity. Enthusiasm is another compelling word, from the Greek root theos, inspired or possessed by a god. Entheos means to be called by God or God within. Considering the history and power of these words, you can determine your own true north by noticing your passions. You can calibrate your life by noticing that your passions are pointing you in the right direction. It's your own internal navigation system, a personal guidance system built around your passions, your internal compass. There are two kinds of people when it comes to pursuing passions with enthusiasm. One, people who aren't and wish they were, and two, people who do incorporate their passions into their lives and are glad they do. Pause a moment and take a good look at the subjects or activities you are passionate about. Here are some clues to help you spot them. What gives you the most joy? What gives you the greatest feeling of satisfaction and fulfillment when you put your attention there? What activity makes time stand still for you? What activity makes time fly by incredibly fast? Whatever it is, write it down and look at it. Ask yourself, how can I make more time in my life for this? How can I rearrange things in my life so this passion can have more of a central role? Can I find a job or start a business or get involved with charity work that allows me to be more involved with this passion? Why would you want to do that? Well, obviously, it's fun. Time spent with your passion simply feels good. Through and through, inside out. Following your passion is a good way to be in sync with yourself, body, mind, emotions, and spirit. That great feeling you have when focusing on subjects and activities you are passionate about is enthusiasm. And remember, that means to be called by God or God within. That seems like a good validation, a vote of confidence that you're on the right track when you're pursuing your passions. It's time well spent.
Passion is universal, humanity. Without it, religion, history, romance, and art would be useless. Honoré de Balzac.
Yeah, but that's not practical. You have to make a living. Does that sound like something you'd say to yourself? Or do you have someone in your life to remind you of these things? We all do. Making a living is definitely important, but is it more important than making a life? Are your day-to-day activities done just to make a living or to make the life you've always dreamed about? These are hard questions, especially when the answers make it clear that things need to change. Thoughts, attitudes, beliefs, actions. It is possible to do both, make a living and a life. It's not necessarily easy, but it can be done. It takes dedication, discipline, and a strong positive attitude. It takes a willingness to put in long hours and be patient, but it's worth it, definitely worth it.
Patience is passion tamed. Lyman Abbott.
My wife Janie and I have been focusing our attention on building our life around our passions since we first got together in the mid-70s. I'm sure you've heard the horror stories about trying to make a living as an artist or a musician. I can speak from experience that they are true, because that's exactly what we've been doing all these years. There have been lean years and bountiful years, feast and famine. We've made a decent living, but most importantly, we've made a fabulous life we are passionate about. We pursue our music, art, and other creative endeavors because it makes us feel good. Janie writes novels, I write songs, she designs and creates stained glass art, I write articles, produce our CDs and videos because it feels so right to get creative urges and then follow through. It seems like All we have to do is be a willing participant, and these wonderful creative endeavors take on a life of their own. It's a fascinating ride, always with unexpected directions and surprises.
A genuine passion is like a mountain stream. It cannot go backward. It must go forward. C.N. Beauvais.
For us, these are the things that put us in the zone. Time stands still. What that usually means for us is we look up from our work and are amazed that so many hours have gone by. Whenever that happens, it's obvious we're passionate about what we're doing. At the end of the day, it feels gratifying knowing the day was spent, rather invested, in our passion. There have been a few times through the years, for whatever reason, when I've temporarily put my passions on the back burner. At the end of those days, the feeling was not so good. Regret, disappointment, sadness, whatever it's called, it felt perfectly clear that ignoring passions was not the best way to create the best life. My internal compass was spinning and I was reeling. Let's explore the overload potential of modern life. Consider for a moment the dizzying array of choices we now have in all areas of our life. To put it in perspective, compare it to 100 years ago, 50 years ago, only 20 years ago. The media is constantly bombarding us with motivations to go in 1,000 different directions, places we should go, things we should do, and especially things we should buy. For the first time in human history, the sky isn't even the limit anymore. Science and technology have made it possible for us to go anywhere, do anything, be anyone. How can we possibly cut through all the clutter? There is so much noise, how do we know which choice is right for us? Can our inner compass steer us true through this minefield of distraction and diversion?
Now it's happening every moment, far too big to see. It's all too much to do it all, so passion is the key. It's a question of perspective, a life to pick and choose. It's where we aim our focus, it brings it all into view. It's just the way of the world. It's just the way of
Here's why it's so important to do it now, always. If your intent is to live a satisfying life, an inspired life, an inspiring life, an exemplary life, first clearly define your passions. Don't ignore them. Don't put them off for later. Don't save them for when you have more money or more time or for when you retire. That may be too late. Don't set yourself up for regret by justifying your procrastination. I'm sure you've got perfectly plausible sounding reasons why you're not living a more passionate life. But who are you trying to convince? You're the one losing out.
Argue for your limitations, and sure enough, they're yours. Richard Bach, in Illusions.
After you've got your passions clearly defined, orchestrate them into your life. Step by step, a little at a time, or all at once, whatever works for you. Just begin and do it. Your passions are your North Star, your internal guidance system pointing you in the direction of your best life. Live it. Although this special mini-course, Your Passion as Your Compass, is copyright by Tupelo Canyon, you have permission to distribute it any way you choose as long as it is reproduced in its entirety and offered free. Can you think of friends and family who would appreciate hearing about Your Passion as Your Compass? Feel free to pass it on. The easiest way to share this life-enhancing information is to send them to my website so they'll get other free videos and free music albums to feel better. They can also sign up for my free newsletter, Inspired on Purpose. Here's the link, www.musictofeelbetter.com. In closing, think about the benefits of living your life as if your passions really mattered. Why is that important? Because it can make you feel better for the rest of your life. Remember to celebrate life. I'm Tupelo Kenyon. Thanks for tuning in.